Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another segment of Truth by Billie Beene Special Report New. This is a new YouTube channel for me. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share. Episode 427. Russia launches a sub that's a city killer. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot subscribers. Oh, and a news flash from God. Red Dawn. So, it's time that we, the people in the United States, see what's going on. So, some of my sources are some previous videos I've done and Redacted Military Tube Today, Scott Ritter, Steve Quayle, Doug Hagman, Mikey Werx, and others. So let's get started. So we've heard now several sources coming out and picking up the narrative that I put in a previous video. And we have, I'll draw you a map. So we have the Ukraine, we've got Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson, Zaporizhzhia. These are the four locations that Russia is incorporating and will become part of Novo Russia approximately October 4 to 5. They have several levels of their government that have to take it up. So at the probably they're like one day ahead of us. So by the end of today, the United States, October 4, these locations will formally and legally become part of Russia according to their government. Okay. So then we had recently from Russia to Germany, two pipelines. The N1 is actually two pipelines into which was yet to come online. It's universally accepted. It was sabotage. In a recent video, I had information from Steve Quayle and Doug Hagman that inside the U.S. Situation Room, certain individuals representing the shadow U.S. unelected government were watching the U.S. blow up these two pipelines, and it was also verified by Mikey Werx, who tracks military planes and could use a new software called, I think that was Spyglass, and he could go back in time to this at time 9/26 and chronicle a US P-8 spy plane that also has the capability to detonate underwater subs or other items flying over and over in this area from approximately 4 a.m. on, which would have been the time of the explosion. So it's universally accepted now around the world that it was the shadow U.S. government, the shadow NATO, who blew these pipelines up. Technically an act of war against Russia, and really an act of war against Germany and all of Europe, because it cuts off their major energy supply, destroys the economy of Germany and Europe, and by December, according to Scott Ritter, Marine military analysts, their children are going to be freezing to death. So technically we could say that a shadow part of the U.S. government is going to be responsible for children in Germany and Europe freezing to death this coming winter. And I've presented information in previous videos that this is technically a winter that's going to be earlier and colder and harder, a lead up to the Ice Age coming in 2030. That's according to multiple sources. And it's already going to be much, much colder this winter. and Germany and Europe are going to have 50% less energy. So we see hard times coming, and we see it coming based on the actions of the shadow U.S. government, the shadow U.S. military, and the shadow NATO. So now we're finding out that Russia has launched a new type of sub. This is Ukraine. That's going to be up here in the Arctic waters. In this area, we've got Finland, Sweden, Norway. We've got Germany. Well, these are outside Ukraine. Germany, Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Norway. And Norway regularly goes up to the Arctic also. So we've got this going on, and I'll describe this new type of submarine that Russia has launched. And also Joshua Philippe has come out with information regarding the shadow U.S. government and the shadow NATO blowing up the N1 into Russian pipeline. So that's going on. And we also have, today, October 4 to 5, the voting by the Russian government. And when this ends, they're going to accelerate from a special military operation to a counter-terrorist operation, which gives the Russian military, extreme operations. I'll cover that a little bit later from another source. Okay, so that's going on. So I think by the end of today, that time period will have ended inside Russia. Okay. Now, we have this. Yeah, the German winter is going to be much colder. The Belgorod. The Belgorod is a new type of submarine launched by Russia. They launched it September 21. It's currently, we believe, in the Arctic. And I also have a video about it from Military Tube Today. And the Sun also gave additional information. So it's about 14,700 tons. It's 100 feet or 30 meters long and can accommodate, its speed underwater is 125 miles per hour. It carries 8 Poseidon type torpedoes that are 79 feet long or 24 meters long. The torpedoes can travel 70 to 125 knots or 80 to 144 miles per hour. And this is what this size torpedoes can do. They're called City Killer, and they can wipe out a coastline, example, the entire east coast or west coast of the United States. And they produce a radioactive tsunami that can reach up to 300 feet or 100 meters tall. Yeah. So that's going on. Do I think that Russia is going to use that against the United States in a preemptive strike? I do not. Do I believe that Russia might use that against nations who do something similar to either the corporate established Russian homeland now or to the new Novo Russia areas inside Ukraine? Do I believe that Russia might retaliate? I think they would use this sub if they determined it was necessary to protect their Russian people, whether they were inside the traditional Russia or inside the Novo Russia, the new areas in Ukraine. I believe that. Okay. And now we have this source, Redacted. This is a new source for me. And he's talking about Larry Johnson, 24 years the CIA trained the military in intel, who's saying, yeah, Russia will go inside Ukraine once these areas are formally a part of Russia, which I believe will occur today, and take out the infrastructure and military command and control centers. And I had information on U.S. command and control centers that may be targets for Russia in previous videos. I'll link that for you. Now, Scott Ritter is saying that Russian military called up 300,000 reserves. They had 300,000 immediately and another 200,000 volunteers. And what I received from God this morning was newsflash from God: inside the U.S., Red Dawn. And I think it's good for we the people to understand, at least the 100 million citizen patriots I believe are inside the U.S., that it's our duty to defend the U.S. against all enemies, domestic and foreign, and perhaps we need to begin inside the U.S. Okay, that concludes my special report. I love you, and I'll see you soon. And may God bless America and all nations around the earth with peace and prosperity.